If you want to learn how to make big chunks of money, this is a really great video for you. I just had a conversation with Olivia. She's a real estate agent, and I broke this deal down where I'm gonna make probably $300,000 simply by connecting a couple of people together. Guys, this is something that you can learn how to do. I used to be a blue-collar contractor, not knowing anything other than how to swing a hammer. And in this video, you're gonna see some insight into what my business looks like on a day-to-day basis. Hi, Olivia, it's Pace, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. You want to tell me what you got, see if I can help you out?
Yeah, so I have a 1031 client who is looking for a bunch of single family properties. I know that isn't what your text message was for, but I talked to your wife a little bit and she said that you guys have some single family stuff as well. He's just looking to cash flow long term. He can buy up to $3 million and would like to get as many as possible. He had said 10, but I don't know if that's totally doable, but yeah.
Cool, all right. That's pretty simple. We've got, so I run a really big community of about 20,000 people across the country. And I'd say the majority of my career has been around single family. I just made the transition about 3 years ago from my own portfolio to multifamily. And I still have 20,000 students that are finding single family deals all over the country. It sounds like he wants to stay in Arizona, is that correct?
Yeah, he's thinking like East Valley.
Okay, so Arizona, East Valley. And my question on 1031, I've done a lot of 1031s. There's two major problems with the 1031. Number one is his timeline. Do you know what his timeline is?
So the buyer keeps, so he's selling the property. The buyer keeps extending the close date. Yeah, so it's supposed to close end of September now.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like 1031s are not fun because of that stress and that pressure that it puts on you as the buyer. Because you're like, oh my gosh, I have, especially you, right? Olivia, you're the real estate agent. He's saying, go find me deals. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got this timeline that's super, not fun. So I would ask him, hey, I've got a seller. Massive amount of deals. Like I did last year, our community did $10 billion in seller finance single family transactions. So he doesn't even have. He could go buy. Does he want to buy them off in cash, or is he okay with having some debt on some of them?
He would prefer to buy them cash.
Oh, okay. That's easy. So he's going to have $3 million in cash. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, so the next question is, are the 10 houses that he buys, are they going to allow him to wipe out all of the tax liability of his capital gain? Do you know if 10 houses will allow him to do that?
Does it have to be a certain number of houses or just meet that 3 million threshold?
It has to meet a threshold. So I don't know his backstory on the houses and where the money's coming from. Is it one house or is it multiple houses?
Coming from a land deal, actually.
Perfect, so he's got a land deal. It depends on, if it's just land, that means he has no depreciation recapture, so that's good. It sounds like he's making $3 million, and that's his net. So he's okay. So it doesn't matter where he goes and what he buys, as long as he rolls that $3 million, then he's perfectly fine. Some people, like me, for example, when I do a 1031 exchange, I also have the added complexity of, I bought the properties I'm selling originally and I did a cost segregation and I took a bunch of depreciation from the IRS, and now I have to roll a 1031 plus have a mathematical equation of saying, am I worried about depreciation recapture, which he doesn't have to worry about, which is awesome. Okay, so if he wants to get into 10 single family houses, that's perfect, super easy. The problem is 10 single family houses in the East Valley, the average purchase price in Maricopa County, I think right now is like $440.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
That was my process as well.
So I imagine, here's the next question. Does he want to have them turnkey where there's already a tenant in there? Or is he like, hey, I'm okay buying and then deploying capital to renovate and get them ready to rent? What is he looking for?
I believe he wants them turnkey already.
Okay, perfect. So turnkey, sounds like 10 is not going to be the number. It sounds like he's probably going to be somewhere around like anywhere between 6 to 8 maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know that, because if you're buying East Valley, right, you're looking at Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, blah, 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 you get it.
Yeah.
The average purchase price, again, is $440 for a turnkey rental, unless he's going to like C class. And I don't think He's doing a 1031. I don't think he wants to be managing tenants in a C class type of asset. He probably is looking for like a B class.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this is what I would tell him, and I can get to work on all of this really easily. I would just tell him, hey, I've got an investor that has a massive deal machine, basically, and I don't buy everything I touch, right? So I make money 4 different ways. I make money a lot of times just putting it in my portfolio. That's one. Number 2, we'll have my wife list some of the deals that we find, like expired listings, what have you. That's a second thing that I do. A third thing I do is I just wholesale these deals to people like your buyer. And I go, hey, this is, I either A, I don't want the house, or B, I'm overwhelmed with renovation already on the houses I bought last month, so I don't want to buy any more this month, but I don't want to turn off my deal machine. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
like this month, I could wholesale 6 or 7 deals to a buyer like yours. He pays you a commission on the deal, and I just assign the deal to him through a wholesale transaction, and he closes on them. I can easily do 6 to 8 houses in the East Valley. That's not even a problem.
Perfect.
Have
Okay.
you started looking on the MLS and just not found what you're looking for?
I have a little bit, but I thought just reaching out to different investors would be a better strategy than digging through the MLS.
Okay.
But I have looked a little bit on the MLS too.
Cool, no problem. I can be a deal finder for you guys, not a problem. Would you do me a favor? Would you ask him a little bit more specific about his buy box? Just say, hey, I've spoken to a couple of people. I've got a guy named Pace that can help you find 6 to 8 properties. He wants to know, are you looking, C class neighborhoods? Are you looking B class? Do you want less properties but nicer, more properties but a little bit more ratty that need some work? Does he want a tenant already in the property? That's an even more, added complexity as well. Or does he just want a property that's rent ready?
Okay.
And then once you find that for me, I can get to work, and I'll send out an email to my whole community and just say, hey guys, let's go find this guy a bunch of deals. What they'll do is they'll probably find the deals for, let's say, 350 to 400, and they'll assign it to your buyer for like 410 or 415, and they'll make an assignment fee of like 10 to 15 grand for finding the deal. Obviously, that just is paid for through his 1031 exchange, and then I imagine he's just going to pay your commissions.
Yeah, I think I would maybe factor it into the list price.
Okay, that's a smart idea. I was just going to suggest that maybe there's a couple of ways we could do it. I could assign the deals to you, and you could turn around and reassign them to him with your markup on them, and then we could go through an escrow company that doesn't need to show him how much money I'm making or how much money you're making, and all he sees is the end price, and he doesn't have any clue of how much money you're making. Obviously, this is legally done through an assignment. Is that the route you'd rather go?
Versus just traditionally?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, you're an agent, so you get this. I'm not an agent, and I don't dabble in your world, but I think investors typically are trying to avoid paying agents as often as they possibly can. And so I imagine being in your shoes, if you find somebody like me that brings a deal, your buyer finding out how much money you're making, he's going to try and negotiate you down. And my question to you is, why does he need, like, if I were you, I wouldn't act as an agent in the situation. You'd make a lot more money. What I would act as is more of a wholesaler. Does your broker allow wholesaling?
Yes.
Perfect. Love it. So your broker obviously is way smarter than some brokers in the Valley. Some brokers in the Valley just don't get it. But if I'm an agent, I would go to this buyer and I'd say, I don't want to be your agent. I want to be the deal finder. I will add my profit into the deal. And if the deal makes sense for you, then we don't need to worry about like commissions and all that kind of stuff. I'll just make sure that the price I present to you is an all-inclusive price, meaning I'm making a little bit of money. And if he says, well, how much money are you making? Just say, I'm making a little bit of the finder's fee. And I doubt he'll probably want to get involved. You just say, here's the price. And then you don't have to really, he doesn't need to get his hands in your pockets.
Okay.
And my title company, we go through a title company called Creative Title and Escrow, and they will hide the settlement statement. Obviously, all this is legal as well. They'll do a blind HUD, so your buyer will only see his price. He won't see how much money you made or how much money I made.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that you could do that.
There's all sorts of cool things that I know about that we could, your goal is to make money, so let's make you as much money as possible.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay, well, I will talk to him today and get back to you here soon.
Okay, sounds great.
Perfect. I appreciate you, Paige. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Have a good day. See ya.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Man, there's so many things to unpack in a conversation like this. One of the first things I wanted you guys to see is real G's move in silence like lasagna. One of my favorite lyrics from Lil Wayne. And I actually disagree with this because if I was a real G, according to Lil Wayne, I wouldn't be showing you these real conversations that I'm having, and I would just silently be making money. But I want you guys to be able to make money too. And that's why we show you the real business and these weird conversations that I have, right? Olivia is a real estate agent. And real estate agents typically are order takers, right? They're not out there creating deals. And so they're very limited in their exposure to new ideas. They're limited to understanding how to find these deals themselves. Typically, a real estate agent has to go find a deal finder. And a deal finder is typically a wholesaler, right? Most agents will never learn how to be a deal finder. They typically are an order taker. Now, why is this important for you to learn? Well, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I watched a YouTube video today of one of my favorite channels, Clear Value Tax, and he talks about all these things that are just very 9-to-5 minded, and he doesn't tell people how to make money, right? He talks a lot about like save, invest, right? And those are great. You definitely should be doing those too, but that's very much a 9-to-5 like W-2 mentality, and you're never gonna get rich that way. You might be able to retire safely, but on my tombstone, do I want it to say, here lies Pace Morby, he retired safely? Absolutely not. That's not my personality. Is that okay for other people? Absolutely. It's not just okay, it's probably preferred for some personalities that are not as risk tolerant as I am. But I look at a deal like this. She's got a client, okay? She has a client who needs to do a 1031. Her client did a land deal and made $3 million on that land deal. So a couple of things I take from this is, one, I want to know who this guy is because I want that person as a friend, right? Your net worth is your net work. So I'm going to make sure that I network with this guy after the deal is closed. I find out who he is. I go and call him. I go, hey man, what are you doing in land? I'd love to find you more deals, right? That's a really great way to make deals happen. Deal finder. Stop thinking about investing and saving. Invest in yourself and learn how to make money, right? This guy has a $3 million problem. He needs to do a 1031, which I can do a whole video about 1031s. He needs to do a 1031 and he goes to his real estate agent and he says, go find me deals. What is this telling me? It tells me that the client she has doesn't even know how to find single family deals himself. Otherwise he would not be going through a real estate agent. Definitely. I've never gone through a real estate agent to find me a single family real estate investment at all. Never have I done that. So you look at this and you look at this, these are problems and how do we make money, right? Saving and investing, these are for 9-to-5 mentality people, and that's great. Again, I'm not criticizing it, but if you want to make significant amount of money, you need to understand problems that people have and figure out how to be a deal finder, because here's what I'll do. I'll go into either A, my free creative finance Facebook group, or B, I'll just send out an email to all of my investor friends inside of Subto, inside of our community, and say, hey guys, I will not tell them about Olivia because that convolutes the conversation. I have a buyer that has $3 million in cash and needs 6 to 8 houses in the next couple of months. Let's go find this guy a deal. Now here's my elevated position. My elevated position is that here's Olivia and her buyer. So let's say his name is Tim, and here's Olivia, right? Olivia is the agent. My community, right, people that have learned how to be deal finders from me, they will go find sellers that have houses for sale off market or maybe expired listings, something along those lines. That's actually probably what I'll tell. I'll probably call like Andrew McGuire. We've done a YouTube video with Andrew McGuire too. We'll put the link in the description down before. I taught Andrew McGuire how to go after expired listings. So what I'll do is I'll go, hey, Andrew, I need 6 to 8 of these deals in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. Can you please go lock them up? And he'll go lock them up for $2.5 million. I'm just making this number up. I'll add $100,000 and then I'll allow Olivia to make $50,000 on top of it. So Tim, who has a $3 million problem, I know something Tim doesn't know. I'll make $100,000 literally just being the middleman And Andrew will probably make 100 grand as well on that. So it'll be like 2.5 to 2.6, 2.6 to 2.7, 2.7 to 2.75. I might honestly be able to make like 300 grand on this one transaction, truly. People will go to college for 12 years to try and make that in 1 year after acquiring all the student debt. And again, I look at this and it's like, guys, if you have a personality like mine, right? Somebody that wants to go crazy, work 14, 16 hours a day and become obsessed with a thing, saving and investing is actually kind of a waste of your time. Investing in yourself is a better way to spend your time, learning how to be a deal finder, learning how to connect these dots and connecting these things and making a big chunk of money. This comes out of a random call, right? Olivia didn't know me. She just saw a website I had. She calls me. I go, what's your problem? How can I solve it? And I'll make $200,000 to $300,000 on somebody else in my community finding a deal, bringing it to me, and me connecting the dots and making sure I understand the paperwork. So if you guys want to see part 2 of this and where it goes and how do I structure this deal and how much money can I make, I want to document this to you guys so you guys know that first and foremost, side hustles are not bullshit. And people that tell you go and save and invest, they're not speaking for everybody, right? Somebody like me, saving and putting money in the stock market is a waste of my money. But that's me, right? There are other people that advice is perfect for. That's not me. And you need to understand yourself. You go, do I want to make 300 grand in one fell swoop? And do I have the courage to go and learn these types of things? If you do, please make a comment down below. We'd love to hear your feedback. I might even build like a whole entire wholesaler course for free. I've thought about doing this for a long time. I took a wholesale course like 11 years ago, and I paid basically $135,000 for the course, plus like spending money on ads and getting my business going. I'll break down a wholesale business and show you guys how to do that, and I'll give that away to you guys for free. Make a comment if you guys would appreciate that. Say, hey, Pace, we'd love the wholesale course for free. I give all my courses away for free. Subto is not a course, Gator's not a course, Top Tier TC is not a course. Those are communities. All my courses I just give away for free because I want to do deals and business with you guys.